Welcome back.
Welcome back
Welcome back
to Biggest Fan. This is part 2
of Jake
my
Scott.
origin stories in music. In case you were really hanging off a cliff on the last episode. Hello, Mickey. She's our girl. Is she 7 or 8?
Oh, Jake. She is.
I don't know why I get it mixed up every single time.
Stop, you're making me feel horrible. She was born in 2018, so she's 7. My math could be wrong there. No, it's correct.
This is why neither of us should ever go into finance.
A lot of reasons we should.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, what are you planning a career pivot? No. Yeah, we would lead people to this.
Okay. Back to you by John Mayer. That was
Back
one of
to
my
me.
No, but Back to You, John Mayer. Great song.
Back to You. Oh yeah.
I listened to that every day of my sophomore year of high school. Because
I
was heartbroken over a guy.
Oh, what's his name?
I'm not telling you his name. He's not a shout out type of guy, all right? But
I know his name.
No, honey, she knows that you need her. Okay. Back to you for real.
Okay.
So where were we? We were for real. Where were we?
Well, I know this because we just listened to.
He knows right where we were.
I've been studying. No, you.
Well, I know. I was saying. I remember talking about how we need to look at this through line of insecurity.
Oh yeah, not good enough.
But what was the latest thing you were insecure about in the story?
You had just asked me about releasing my first ever EP as Tossing Copper. And why
versus Jake Scott.
Yeah, why I chose to make it a band name versus just a solo artist.
He will not remember a single thing, but he will remember.
I watched the clip of it 30 seconds ago. I watched the video.
Okay, I know.
10 minutes ago.
You love your stories. Okay, let's go.
And I will never forget what I get to talk about myself. So I was basically, I was working on music. I had the opportunity to go record it for the people who didn't listen to the last episode. I was just about to release my first EP, my senior year of college, 2013. And I had these like 5 songs that I had recorded. We recorded 6, but one of them I decided to be real ambitious and do it literally live, mics in a room, violinist in the room, just me, him.
Oh, you didn't say this last time, so there's a secret 7?
Oh, there's a secret 6.
Oh,
I only released 5 of them because we listened back to the recording and it was dog.
I think
so bad.
That with the release of this episode, you should release that song.
I gotta find it. I don't know where it is. It's on a hard drive somewhere that I can't. I've literally been looking for it.
In a shrine somewhere?
It is definitely part of the shrine that I have in the back closet, but you don't know about it.
I know about it.
You know about it well. But yeah, that one, I don't even remember what it was called, but I don't think it'll ever see the light of day. Because I remember the violinist was like, after we're done, he was like, that was an adventure.
Oh, man.
I was like, it was terrible, wasn't it? And he was like, no, man. Maybe your voice is just a little tired.
Oh, what? That's awful.
That's a nice way of being like, you suck, bro.
Okay,
violinist. It's okay. Hey, guys, we've grown.
And he's dead
We've come a long way, and he's no longer with us.
Okay, well.
Just kidding. I love him.
Yeah, we love him.
We have worked together since, and he's phenomenally talented.
So take him off the list.
Yeah, he's off the list. Okay. He's actually on the
high list.
The good list.
Hey, and I like the honesty because your voice probably was tired.
Oh, I was end of day 5 of I also didn't really know. And this is
Let's get the train back on track. The train is down shady lane right now. Okay. So I still think, before we move to the next part, that the fact that 5 of the 6 songs that you recorded were good enough to make it on the EP, and then knowing where the EP led you, I mean, that's pretty amazing considering you had no real experience producing anything.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, they were, some of the first, I've probably at this point had written like 10 songs.
Yeah.
And then these were the 5 or the 6 that I was like, okay, I think these ones are the ones I want to try to record.
Would you still release those today?
Well,
all right, Mickey.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I listen back to them and I'm like, these aren't bad.
No, I mean, I think they're great.
They're not bad. And like, some things I would do differently, definitely do differently on like a production standpoint, because I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I didn't know the difference of like how you dynamics in a production. Like, you don't want to start the song with all the bells and whistles because then you have nowhere to go.
But you know what? They sound, obviously I've listened to this EP and do feel some stuff that you've produced over the years. I'm like, oh, that feels very 2016 or whatever. But they feel there's a timeless element to them and to the writing that feels like why we can still enjoy listening to them today.
Yeah.
And maybe I think leading into the next part of the story, why that EP did open so many doors for you. So you're a senior in college. Your fall semester.
Yep.
You put the EP out on iTunes. What is your hope? And be honest, not you're just like front facing. Oh, it's a hobby. It's fun. What are you telling people? And then, what is your actual hope for it?
Of course, I'm telling people like, oh,
it means nothing.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
I know what you mean.
I'm humiliated to talk about it because everyone's like, "Oh, you've made an album," and I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "What's your band called?" And I was like, "Tossing Copper." They're like, "Oh, it sounds like Flopping Copper," and I was like, "I got that daily," or Tossing Cooper, or whatever, and people would just, as of like 5 days ago, I got ribbed for the name Tossing Copper by a friend, and it was just one of those things where I was like, "Yeah, I get it. Y'all don't get it yet." And maybe you never will, because maybe this thing is going to be a huge disaster. And it was just kind of a fun little moment I had thinking I could do this. But I had to just convince myself like, hey, I believe this is good and I got to put it out there, even though my friends are making fun of me for it in a loving way. They weren't being mean about it. They were just ribbing me.
Because you said last time that they were supportive of your music stuff where like, hey, play at the party. You were kind of, but it was like, it doesn't sound like anyone was making fun of you for trying to make an EP. It was more just good-hearted, like, oh, Tossing Copper.
Yeah, they were just giving me a hard time, and like, which is totally fine.
So okay,
it still made me at the time be like, is this a terrible idea? Like, I'm about to humiliate myself.
Well, of course, it made you feel like that.
And so,
how long? You get the demos back, you get them to the finish line, and then you're like, okay, I'm releasing it 1 month from today. And
it was kind of like that.
And so you're leading up for that month, and as it gets closer, you're like, boom, boom, boom,
I was terrified.
Also excited.
Yeah, I mean, but I think genuinely heart of hearts, like, I didn't think anything was actually going to happen. I knew I had a lot of friends
who would listen.
The University of Arkansas that would listen to it. And I had enough friends at other campuses that, like, I may get like a couple hundred people to like buy the EP on iTunes, but that would kind of be the end of it, And if I was lucky, like, they would all tell one friend, and so maybe
you thought it would be like a stepping stone, maybe, but you would still take. At this point, had you taken the job in Memphis?
I had a worship leading job lined up in Memphis.
So you're going to graduate college.
Graduate college, move to Memphis, start working at this church, and
like you said last time, maybe just do music on the side as a hobby. So
here's
your first step in the hobby world.
Yeah, and I was close. Memphis is close to Nashville, so I was like, okay, sweet. Like, I will live in Memphis, work in Memphis. Music is technically my job, and then I'll kind of moonlight to Nashville certain times when I've got like a new song that I want to go record or whatever. That was at that point, that was totally the height of my expectation. My dream was, whoever Ryan Seacrest is going to pick it up and run wild with this.
Yeah, we all have those
I'm going to be a breakthrough sensation overnight. But like, I didn't actually think that was going to happen. I genuinely thought nothing was going to really come of this. And I thought like, okay, sweet. I'll start gigging in coffee shops. I'll start like,
cute.
Because I was just like, this is how you do it, I guess. You just start gigging, start playing shows anywhere you can. Shout out Ben Rector, who was the only singer-songwriter I had seen come through the University of Arkansas. And so I looked to him and be like, okay, how did he build his career? He would, every weekend, go to a different college campus and play a gig somewhere, like a sorority house or a fraternity house. So like, cool.
And you had a season of that later.
Yeah, and I was like, I can do that. I can start that process. And then I released the EP as Tossing Copper. And
the day of, did it feel like Christmas morning?
Yeah, it was cool because the day of it released and like immediately was on like the top 200
right away
on the iTunes charts.
Yeah.
Like the iTunes.
And this was pre-Spotify. So that was like
before Spotify was really, it was a thing, but it wasn't even close to what it is now. iTunes was still the king.
Spotify was a thing? then?
2011 it came out, and this was 2013.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like
iTunes was king.
Yeah, I had a couple friends who were like, "Oh, I'm on Spotify." I'm like, "Dude, yeah, right. Like that's ever gonna be a thing."
You're like the people
and I was like, "iTunes is it, bro." and I had like filmed a couple YouTube videos and was like, "Cool, this is gonna be my like rollout." You know, like I posted about it. The video still exists.
Oh, honey, when we were falling in love, I watched those videos a lot. They were so cute. I got to go back to that.
But like, yeah, that was it. And you know, I released it, and that day it got in like the top 200, and I was freaking out with all my friends. I was like, "Oh, this is the top 200." And I was like, "This is amazing." And I was like, "Cool, that's it, done." And then the next day it was in like the top 50, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then the next day it was in the top 20, and then the next day it got to number 4 on the singer-songwriter charts on iTunes, and then that's when I started being like, "Oh wow, like I don't really know what's happening right now." And then I literally walked into my fraternity house and they started cheering for me.
Oh, honey.
And
You've never told me that.
Well, yeah, I've never actually said that out loud. But I walked in the kitchen and there were like, 50 people in there, and they were all like, "All right, tossing copper." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, dude, we heard your album's out or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Good for you, man. Like, I don't really like it, but I like that it's pop. I like that people are buying it." And I was like, "Cool, thanks, man." Because like a lot of my friends were like, all they listened to was top 40 country, and so like
you got to be kept humble by someone.
Yeah, my angsty singer songwriter folk music, they were kind of like, "I don't really get it, but good for you, man." And and then it was kind of this like fun miniature moment of like feeling like things were really happening, because like I started getting DMs from like record labels and all these A&R people being like, "Hey man, I got your EP, like tell me what else you got going on." And I was like secretly freaking out because I was like, "I don't have anything else."
Well, yeah.
Like I don't have any other songs. This is the extent of my catalog. And they were all like, "What can you attribute this success to?" And I was like, "I don't know, like God and my friends, I guess."
You're DMing that to record labels?
I verbatim said that. And
so sweet.
And yeah, I was just kind of like, "Oh wow, this is crazy. Like maybe
it could be something.
I should like think about pursuing this." Because like, this is like catching some traction. And then I get an email by Billboard, and they're like, "Hey, congrats for charting. Your EP is in the Heat Seeker chart, and you're number 4 on the Heat Seeker chart." And I was like, "For real? Like this is crazy. This is Billboard magazine." And
was your name in the magazine?
Yeah, they were like moniker tossing copper. This who's actually Jake Scott, this kid from Arkansas. And I was like, "This is insane." Like I genuinely I didn't know what to do with it. So I was just like, "Okay, cool. Like I guess I just need to start writing more songs." And then I remember very distinctly, I was hanging out with some friends, and then a friend of a friend's, or one of my family friends, one of my dad's best friends. I said that horribly, but one of my dad's best friends came up to me and was like, "Hey man, I heard your EP. It's good. Like I like it." And I was like, "Thank you." And he was like, "I met this guy at a conference years ago, and we exchanged emails. He's a singer songwriter. He's in the music industry, big producer. He's had a lot of hits. I could try to email it to him." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He was like, "Here, he's probably not going to email me back, so like don't get your hopes up, but like I'll send it to him, see what he says." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet. Let's do that."
But secretly, you're excited.
Secretly, I was freaking out.
Okay, yeah.
I was like,
"Sure, yeah, no."
No. I was like, "Oh, wow, that would be amazing."
Yeah.
But yeah, he probably won't email you back. So like, I'm not gonna.
But you didn't have a little more hope now because of everything happening?
No, because this dude, he was like, "This guy's won Grammys."
He's really prefacing it with hope.
Yeah, he was really like, "Don't get your hopes up, but I will try."
Okay, yeah. So go
and
on.
Then I got lunch with that guy like 2 weeks later because I was like really curious of like, "Hey, did you send the email?" And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, did you email that guy?" He's like, "You know what? I didn't. I forgot, but I'm gonna send it to him today." And then he emailed him, and then he texted me like 2 days later and was like, "Hey, he emailed me back. He wants your number. He's gonna call you." And then I freaked out because I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And this guy's name is David Hodges, and he was in the band Evanescence. And
we love David.
We love David. Shout out David Hodges. And he was a band Evanescence. He's had tons of hit songs, 2 Grammys, like so many hits. And so he gets my number. I'm Googling him and I'm just like, holy crap. Like
you get the double shivers.
Guy is real. This is a for real dude. And
he's also from Arkansas, which is a cool connection.
Little Rock. Yeah, it was a cool through line.
He gets you.
Yeah, exactly. And so he reaches out and was like, "Hey man, I got your number. And I'd love to give you a call. Like, are you free tonight?" And that's when I was like, "Hey man, I'm kind of busy tonight. I've got fraternity chapter meeting.
Chapter.
So I don't know if I can make time, but maybe after that." He was like, yeah, okay.
He's like, "Do I cancel this altogether?"
What? And so I called him later that night.
By the way, it's senior year. Like everyone, I was in a sorority. You were not like chapter.
Nobody cares. Oh my gosh! But
hey, you were the.
He was a legend about it, and basically we got on the phone. And he was just like, "Hey, man, people send me music all the time." And
he makes I like this. He makes a rule that he listens to all of it. Even though he's like so obviously very in demand, and he clearly takes the time. And I mean, look what happened to you because of that.
Yeah, he was like, I always listen, and 99% of the time it is terrible, like god awful. But I listened to your EP, and he was like, "And man, I heard the first song. I was like, this is good, but anyone can stumble into one good song." And then he listened to the second song. He was like, "This is good." And then he was like, once I got to song number 4, I knew. I was like, "You've got the thing, and you're onto something here. And I really want to help you get better." Cause like you're green, but you get it.
You've got the thing, like you said.
And which
is another through line for you, people supporting you in that way. Edelman.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Champions along the way for sure. And Hodges especially, like, man, I owe him so much of my life, honestly. Because
we wouldn't have met.
No, he was like, "Hey, I would love to."
Because again, you're from Arkansas. You're about to move to Memphis after college, and if you even were dreaming of maybe doing music, it would have been Nashville. Yeah,
LA didn't even slightly cross my mind. No, because I was like, LA's for movie stars and like people who are insane,
people who use Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify yoo-hoos. And so like it didn't even cross my mind. And he was like, "Hey, like I'd love to write a song with you. Can you come to LA
oh my gosh,
soon?"
Triple shivs. I would be so nervous.
I was terrified because I had never co-written before, really,
Well, you'd only written 10 songs.
Right, but like and
one of which humiliated you with the violinist.
Freaking live takes. Don't do that.
He doesn't remember the name of it.
It's blocked out. It's definitely dissociated.
Okay, so you fly out like a month later to LA.
A month later, I had a couple days fall break or Thanksgiving break and went out there.
I know one part of the story that's very cute. He's sitting, David lived in this part of LA where actually we always lived.
Studio City, shout out.
And he saw this like, I don't even know the name. It was some production company for maybe like Hallmark movies, family friendly movies, which is, has its place. But Jake was like, that's probably where like.
No, baby, it wasn't even Hallmark at the time. The building was some like way off brand.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna say the name, but it was like it wasn't even cool enough to be the Hallmark building.
Yeah,
yet.
And Hallmark would have been, you would have been like fainted.
I got to LA for the first time in my life, never been there, and I'm looking around. I'm like,
starstruck.
Everybody is so famous. There's palm trees everywhere.
You're looking at that building from the Starbucks off Ventura, and you think that like
Ventura, and I'm like,
Leonardo DiCaprio is about to walk
big
out.
Big stuff is going down in that building. I guarantee you right now.
Have they heard of tossing copper?
And I'm here. I'm amongst it. I'm probably going to see Brad Pitt in 5 minutes.
Oh, Brad Pitt was listening to your EP, babe.
100%. And then now, hilarious, but very innocent.
But very so sweet, that innocence.
Yeah. Well, and also I remember this is stupid, but I landed and I was like, "Hey man, I'm at LAX." He was like, "Cool, you gonna Uber?" And I was like, "What is Uber?"
Oh,
and
wow.
I had no idea.
I mean, that's not on. That's just and also back then it was just becoming.
It was becoming a thing, but I thought it was.
We forgive you that, not Spotify, but we forgive you that.
But and anyway, fast forward. He and I write a couple songs over the next 2 days. And
did it feel okay? You've never co-written. You get in there with him. Obviously, there's nerves, but did right away it feel like I know how to do this and I enjoy it? Like you knew you were good at it and it was going well? Or were you like, I'm not doing well?
No, yes, it did. And I don't know if that's because David is such a pro.
That definitely adds to it.
Or if it's because I was actually good, but he
combo.
created an environment that he was just kind of like, he knew to when to give me space to like explore an idea because I had no idea what I was doing. And he never like imposed his opinion on me. He was really, really good about just being like, hey, that's cool. I even remember like I got there and I was so intimidated because like, you walk into a studio and there's just plaques everywhere, like coloring the walls. There's just hit after hit after hit.
And you already had your late night Google session.
Yeah. Like, And so I'm walking in there and I was just like, I am terrified right now. I've been up since 5 a.m. because I'm on Central Time and I've had like 6 Starbucks coffees. You're sick. I am jacked to the max.
You're sick. 12 egg bites.
And 12 egg bites. And so I get there and I'm so nervous. And he was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And then he left the room for like a long time, like an awkwardly amount.
Okay, let's not out David.
No, not because of that. I then learned after the fact that he did it on purpose so that I could like get comfortable in the room and not feel intimidated by him.
He's very good at what he does.
He is so good. And he just left. And I was like, cool. And so I sat down at his piano. And I started playing this little like thing.
Were you kind of hoping through the wall he could hear it?
Oh, of course. But I was also just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to play. And he walks in the room and goes, what's that? And I was like,
shivers.
And I was like, oh, it's this little thing. He was like, let's write that. And I was like, and he was like, do you have a melody? And I was like, well, yeah, I have this little thing. And he was like, sweet. And then he sat down at the computer and recorded me playing it and then started laying down these things. And like, for a kid who'd never seen someone building a track as you're going, I was like, this is sorcery. Like, what is happening right now?
Now, was it intimidating or did it feel, oh my gosh, I'm so interested?
It was fascinating.
Fascinating. And also, I think, like you said, he set the stage, but I can see, I mean, for me creatively, if I were in that situation, for him to walk in and be like, let's dive in and not have to like, what are we going to write about? That would have ruined it. But it's like, you're already playing something. Let's dive in and go.
It was like a masterful technique.
Well, and I think, again, knowing now that you can be the experienced writer in the room with more green people, you can still be the David of that situation and have someone come in. And if they don't have it, then like, doesn't matter.
No.
But it's that pairing of someone who knows how to nurture talent and then someone with the gift coming in that is like.
For sure. And so, I've had both. So
you did. And so you write that day.
No, what I mean is I've experienced both now on the other side of it.
Sorry, I'll be so honest. I did not even listen to a word you were saying.
Classic.
You have experienced.
Welcome to our marriage. It's the other way around. But yeah, so like it was such a kind of another moment in my life where I was like, light bulb, like, oh, this is it. This is what I want to do. And I was watching him do his thing on the computer and producing, and I was like, I know I can do this, but I just don't know how. I need to learn how to do what he's doing, but I know my brain thinks this way.
The production of it. And he was so gracious to me because I'm 21 idiot kid coming in, and he's this like incredibly successful, very famous within the industry. Like everybody knows this dude. And I'm coming in and he let me just roll with my opinions. And he would throw out ideas and I was like, nah, I'm not into that, but I like this. I mean, I love that he did that, but I also love that you had the courage to say that to him. But that just means you felt safe.
I felt safe, and he made it such a safe environment for me to just be like, hey, I like that. I don't like what you're doing there. And he was like, cool, so I'll do something else. And then we wrote a song, and like I felt like we had just conquered the world. Like I was just like, this is. And
How long did it take?
I bet we wrote the song for 3 or 4 hours, and then 5 or 6 hours into it, the recording was done. Like I had sang the song, and I was listening back to it, and I was like,
how would you do this?
What is this magic? Like I can we do it again? And then we did it again the next day, and then he sat me down and was basically like, hey, like. This trip was kind of a tryout. Like I'm starting a publishing company, which is basically, for those who don't know, like a record label for songwriters. Like you have a publishing company that they offer you a salary to come write songs, primarily pitching them for other artists who are signed to record labels. The record labels and the publishing companies are constantly working together to make new music for their artists, in a nutshell. So he's starting a publishing company, and he was like, I would love to, talk about offering you a publishing deal, because I think after these 2 days, I want to help you become an artist. I want to help you make your next album. And I think you're really onto something as an artist, but I also think you're probably going to have the skill set to do what I do, which is right for other people too. And if you can do both of those things, you can really have like a long career in this industry because, you know, on the roller coaster ride of your artist career that it will have ups and downs, you'll always have this other means of making an income.
Well, and did he even know at that point? Because not to bring it back to Spotify again, but I guess you had already self-released on iTunes. But knowing your story, and that you did obviously start releasing music on Spotify, that is really what opened doors for you. Like, did he? But was he even aware of how much at that point giving you the skill set to produce would enable your artist career?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like at that point it wasn't as common to be.
Okay, yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was like more traditional than maybe where
Mhm.
you hire a different producer, or if you do produce, like there weren't. I mean, I don't really know. I'm just making assumptions, but I just know that you were at that crosshairs where things really shifted, and all of a sudden people were frequently releasing music. And
Yeah.
but the fact that you could produce your own music saved us thousands and thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
and enabled you to frequently release music, which is
Mhm.
what ended up opening so many doors for you. I mean, but like
100%.
it felt separate at the time. Like, I'll produce for other people and I'll be an artist. And in fact,
Mhm.
the producing is what enabled your artist career.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you would have gotten there, but it would have cost a lot more money and it would have been a slower process because, as you know, producers work with,
I think I could have gotten there.
I know you would have gotten there.
I don't know, but like, yeah, having that skill set has given me a
Everything.
career. Yeah, and he
Everything.
told me that. I don't know if he meant it in the artist sense of it, but he was like, "Dude, if you can produce music, you will always have a career in this industry because you're not beholden to anybody. If you have a song that you've written, you can turn it into a real thing. You don't have to wait for someone else. You have to pay somebody else.
Yeah.
You can do this for other people, which will also provide for you. And like, you just are constantly in the driver's seat of your own life."
Well, yeah. And it's just crazy because, I mean, again, knowing your story, you would never have chosen to learn to produce in the way that you did with him.
No.
You thought you were going to move. You had put this EP out. It had done well. And then you went out there with David, and he knew you wanted to be an artist. And I think knowing what you've told me, you were like, great, I'll move to LA and I will put out an album and I'll get on a tour bus and I won't, that's what I'll be doing. So maybe you'll dabble in the producing, but it was never going to be in your mind, what it ended up being.
Yeah.
But what it ended up being is what paved your way.
Yeah. And I think I had this innate thing of just being like, because I so thought like a producer, I knew when I saw him doing it, I was like, whoa, I need to learn this.
Because you knew you could do it.
I knew I could do it. And I knew that my brain already thought like that because I produced the EP, but I didn't want to be the guy kind of in the traditional sense who was behind the scenes of like, hey, the engineer is executing everything and he's doing all the computer work. And I'm just kind of calling the shots.
Well, yeah, back then, especially, I feel like it was like, well, artists aren't the producers. And so you didn't want to be put in the pigeonhole of he's a producer and writer for other people.
No, yeah.
You wanted to do that, but it wasn't, wasn't all you wanted to do.
Yes, but what I'm saying is like, I knew that I had to learn how to do it to be able to execute the ideas in my head that were the songs. I was like, oh, I know how I want these to sound. I don't want to depend on other people to get them there. Because I was like, I know I can do it. I know I am a producer and this is how I'm going to do this. I just have to learn the computer. And when I saw David doing it, that's when I was like, this is going to be really annoying because I hate sitting at a computer. But I know that I have to learn how to do this. And so
I've never heard you say that. I always thought.
Yeah, no, weirdly, I'm kind of like,
remember
as you're saying that, I'm like, well, it wasn't exactly that. It was like, the second I saw it, the light bulb clicks and I was like, this is what I have to learn.
Wow, yeah. You just knew intuitively.
I knew intuitively that's like, I got to put in my 10,000 hours. I've only written 10 songs. I need to learn how to do this.
Well, especially you saw how fast he did it.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is the path. Like I have to just get this program and go.
Okay, so then, I love learning new things about you because I thought it was like you ended up learning it. But you had seen.
No, it wasn't one of those things where it was just kind of like, oh, I guess it was like, I knew like, this is what I'm going to learn.
But you still have said to me a million times, and I know you still feel like at the same time you were going to move there and get on a bus.
Yes.
And be like.
Well, yeah, but I thought the only extent of me learning how to do this was for myself.
Right.
Because I was like, I'm an artist. I'm about to go, start writing a ton of songs. I'm going to learn how to do this, but I'm going to get on a tour bus and start touring. And that's going to be my dream. That's what I'm going to be doing.
So you have that first trip. You end up accepting the publishing deal.
Yes.
And then you move.
I mean, the next part of the story is kind of like we can go more bullet points, but like, yeah.
We don't want bullet points. We want the meat.
The next, this is actually funny. I will say the story. He was kind of like, this was like, Thanksgiving of my senior year. So he was like, so obviously you're going to drop out and move to LA. Like, you're not going to finish college. And I was like, I mean, I've only got 6 months left. Like, I've got 1 semester left to graduate.
Which is actually like 3 months.
Which is only, yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, I'm so close to the finish line. Like, I think I'm just going to graduate. And he was like, oh, yeah, cool. He thought, I could see in his eyes, I was like, dude, you're so lame.
You
like,
idiot.
You suck.
That 3 months could have made it.
It could have made a difference. But anyway, so the next semester, I like structured my schedule to where I had 2 full days a week to just write and learn production. And it was an absolute disaster of me trying to teach myself. Because for some reason, the light bulb didn't click that I could watch YouTube videos.
Again, I feel like that was kind of new back then.
No, that is that at that point, like I was already such a consumer of YouTube that it just didn't connect in my head of like, I bet someone made a tutorial video about this.
Yes, but all that kind of stuff was new.
Ish.
I
look back on it, and a lot of my friends who came up at the exact same time were like, yeah, I just taught myself on YouTube.
So did you learn anything?
How did I not think about that? No, I learned nothing. And like,
but you were writing songs, and I just love.
I was writing songs. I was writing
that discipline is what sets you apart to actually do that, because I think that can be hard. It was hard.
I was sitting there alone, and my friends were like, "Oh yeah, Jake's writing songs," and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to be a professional."
I mean, at this point, they probably took you a little seriously.
It was a lot. They took it a lot more seriously because like.
You're moving to LA.
I was moving to LA. I was working with Hodges.
But they still have to rib you.
And they were ribbing me all the time. But like, I was starting to play shows here and there around town that were going well and stuff like that. Anyway, all this to say, fast forward, graduate, and then summer of 2014, I moved to LA. Met you.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast. Let's stick to the music.
And got there, went straight to Hodges' house, and was just like, "All right, bro, like I'm here. Let's do it." And before this, he was kind of like, "Hey, move to LA. My publishing company isn't fully like set up yet, but it will be by, the beginning of 2015. That's when like things will really be rolling." And I was kind of like, well, I'm not going to just sit in my apartment for 6 months waiting for this publishing deal to come about. So I was like, can I be like your intern at your studio?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just kind of like watch you do your thing? And he was like, yeah, I'm not going to pay you, but like, sure, like you can come intern for me. And I was like, sweet, because I just want to learn. I just want to watch. I want to learn how you produce. I want to be a part of it. And so that's what I did. I moved to LA, immediately started interning for him for 6 months, and he just let me pull up a chair next to him and just watch him work.
Well, and didn't he start being like pretty quickly like, all right, Jake, you take over, throwing you in the deep end?
6 weeks in. So his way of teaching me, which I so appreciate now, was like, sit here, watch me and ask questions. Because he's producing all the demos that he'd been writing that day. So I wasn't usually in the session early on. I would come in after the fact, after the other co-writers had left. And he's like, all right, this sounds terrible right now. Let's clean it up. Watch me do this. And then, at the 6 week point, he had a session that day. And he was like, hey, you're coming in on the session. I was like, okay, sweet. And he was like, oh, you're going to be building the track today. And I was like, today? And he was like, yep. And I was like, bro, I'm not ready for this. And he was like, got to be ready.
Gosh, I love it. It's like a movie.
Your time. And he had this chair in the back of the room, and he just sat there and like folded his hands. And I was like,
do you think he was trying to?
Oh yeah, he definitely was. I love him for that. He's very like ceremonial about it. But yeah, and so he just tossed me into the deep end. Did you just
utterly fail?
No, I didn't. Because I had seen him do his thing and it was fast.
So then you found, it has osmosis a little bit.
It has a little bit, but then I would kind of turn around and be like, hey, David, what's that quick key thing? And like he was helping me.
Yeah.
He's helping me. But at the end of the day, he was like, hey, nice. Good job.
And you lived off that for months.
I'm still living on it. It's been 10 years. But anyway, so I signed the publishing deal beginning of 2015, and then I'm like officially doing it. He gave me my own room in the studio.
Did you find yourself falling in love with the producing, or did it feel like the way that you did the writing and the performing, or did it feel different? Obviously, you knew you wanted to learn it, but
yes, I think I did. I think production to me has always felt a little bit more like work than writing. Writing still feels like magic to me because it is such a spiritual experience of just like, whoa, what is this thing? I'm receiving this. I've never heard this before. I've never said this before. And it just poof, happens. Production is kind of like, okay, I have this vision in my head, and how do I not F it up on the way to execution?
Is there any passion in it?
Yes.
Any magic?
Yes, there is magic in it, especially when you get an idea or you accidentally hit a button and it does something and you're like, whoa, I would have never thought to do that. But that sounds awesome. Like, that sounds really cool. And also, like, I feel like this is probably for everybody. Like, even if you're just really good at making a spreadsheet, like, when you're good at doing something and you're just rolling, there's this innate sense of like, wow, like, I love what I do. I love that I am good at this. I love that I can do it. I love getting the ability to do this. And I love when I can execute what's in my head.
Yeah.
Because it took me a long years to get to the point where, like, if I had a vision, I could pretty much capture it.
Right.
Not every time, but like when that happens, it's an incredible feeling.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I watched you because I met you so quickly after moving that I was a witness to pretty much all of this.
Yeah.
And what I saw was you became better and better. And within the first couple of years, you started producing music for our friends who were pursuing it. And that became paid work for you.
Oh, yeah.
It was like your first.
Keeping my lights on.
But obviously you also had, I mean, I think anything musical you are natural at. You have a knack for. Even that more mathy, like production's more mathy, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So even that, all of it, you have that ability to do, which is not true for every musician. But what I remember that I want to hear you talk about is, you moved there with the ultimate dream of being an artist. You had released your EP. You did end up, under Tossing Copper, releasing an album, a year in?
Something like that.
Yeah, and some great music. Like, some of my favorite songs of yours are on that. But after that, and even in that, you made that album, but it was also like, okay, but I'm also still really focusing on producing and writing for other people. And you put that album out, and then you had kind of, what I witnessed was you convinced yourself, really, I'm going to be a songwriter and a producer.
Yeah.
Like, talk about that. Like, the first couple years there, why you went down that path. And
well, even when you asked me the question of like, did you fall in love with the production of it? I think I got really, really, really caught up in the game,
Well, tell us about the game.
Well, what I mean by that is like, oh, there's an industry here. There's a new ladder to climb that I didn't even know existed. I had no idea that this industry of writers and producers was a thing, and David showed me that. And I was kind of like, oh, I want to conquer this game. I want to be the best producer and the best writer that I can possibly be. I want cuts on all the biggest albums. I want the biggest artists, because I'm seeing these like A-list songwriters coming through the studio every day.
Best of the best.
Best of the best, working with Hodges.
And it's also like you are loving that part of it, the writing and producing. So it's like, okay, this is an active ladder I can climb, and it's very accessible to me.
Yes, but like you're saying, it was like a placebo ladder.
But you didn't know that.
No, I had no clue, because at the time I was like, oh, I'm learning so much. It is scratching the itch of this passion that I have of making music, of producing and writing. I'm surrounded by these like huge songwriters who are talking about the cuts they're having on like Bieber's next record, and all these huge people. Just like, it's crazy the people I was around at the time. And I got very caught up in the fact of like, okay, well, this is still making music, like I'm still doing the thing I'm passionate about, but I didn't notice it at the time. But I was very quickly distracted from my ultimate dream and my ultimate goal, and then got really, really caught up in the current of like, okay, this is a parallel, not even parallel. This is kind of like I'm slowly getting off track, and like so slowly and subtly that I didn't even really notice it until like 2 years into it.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh wow, I'm so far away from where I actually like want to be.
Well, and by that point, by 2 years into living in LA, how much of your time was focused on writing your own music compared to other people?
Zero.
So you're doing zero for your artist career, fully writing and producing, which is like, I'll never forget you saying it to me. An amazing career,
Oh, yeah.
which is why I think you were, what's the word? Distracted into it, because it is a big part of what you're meant to do.
Right.
But your deepest heart, your biggest dream is to do
Be
your
an
own
artist.
music.
Yeah. And that's why I got into it in the first place. And so like for me, I think it happened subtly and it happened quickly that I got there, made the Tossing Copper album with Hodges like the first month I was there, and then I just put it on the back burner because I was like, I got so much to learn.
Yeah.
And things are moving really fast.
Thank God you did that. You needed those years of learning to produce and of just, what's the word?
I mean,
not grinding your teeth, striking your match.
Putting your hours grinding?
No.
I don't know.
Cutting your teeth.
Grinding your teeth. Being super stressed.
You needed
not sleeping.
You needed to cut your teeth.
I needed to cut my teeth. And like, I knew I had to put in my 10,000 hours. And those 3 years,
which is humility,
were my 10,000 hours. And yeah, there was humility in it, but I'm not going to say it was altruistic. Like I also was kind of like, I want to win this game.
Yeah, I was about to say, and that's another, pure. Along with the insecurity piece, I think a big piece for you, a battle in your life is if there's a ladder, you want to climb it.
Yes.
Like you could end up being like, wow, all of a sudden I'm a bus driver because I got on a bus once and that guy was so good at it and I wanted to learn how.
I mean, I could drive
and then you're in, like in another state. I
can whip this thing around.
On a friggin' dart bus.
I know that's another podcast. But like, yeah, I think. So
what's your turning point?
I remember it very clearly. I'll tell the quick version of it. I opened for a friend at a show and you were there, and this was probably 2.5 years into my 3-year publishing deal.
Yeah.
And we got home that night.
Because we were married at this point.
We were married and we were laying in bed and you were like, hey, right now, gun to your head. If you had to choose if you're going to be a full-time writer for the rest of your life or a full-time artist for the rest of your life, what would you choose? And I said, full-time artist. And you were like, well, you're not getting any younger. So if this is going to happen, you got to jump now. And I was like, oh my gosh. She's right. Like, and you were so right. You're like, what are you doing? Well,
and I remember the conversation. I remember almost more than I do remember that, obviously. But a couple weeks prior to that, I was getting to know you as you were becoming this songwriter producer. But then as I got to know you and heard about, obviously ended up marrying you, I knew about your real dream of being an artist. And I remember sitting in the backyard when we were engaged at my outlet house. Mm-hmm. And you like trying to convince me all I want to do is songwriting is amazing. What's wrong with it? And I was like, it's an incredible career. You are like one of the 1% of people who would get to do this. What a blessing. Yeah. But is that actually what you want to do? And your MO, I now know so well, is to deny it first. So you fully denied to yourself, no, this is what I want. Maybe I'll be an artist, but like, this is the career path I'm going to focus. Kind of back to your, original when you put the EP out. I'm going to be a worship leader and this will be my hobby. Yeah. So then you found a more stable career, songwriting and producing.
Yeah.
Well, stable compared to trying to do your own music.
Yeah. I mean, it's all crazy, but within the crazy. It's a more predictable crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because you can produce for multiple people. As you had already found, you're only betting on yourself if you're putting out your own music.
Yeah.
So you would try to convince me of that. And I'm sure I do remember fighting you, but I must have laid it down. But then it was like a couple weeks later at the show, and I remember watching you, and then I obviously remember that conversation. And then that was it. That was all you needed.
Well, and God gave me you. No.
God gave.
Shout out.
Wow, did I just sing?
Come on, give the world what they want. But
please,
like God knew what He's doing by bringing you into my life, because I can convince myself, and I will fully believe it.
Hey, bus driver, I know,
but like I will not ask questions for 15 years.
Yeah,
until I finally wake up. I'm like, wait, where am I?
Why am I mining coal? Like
you are so good because you were like, hey, I don't really believe what you're saying to me right now. Like I see that you believe it. But I don't think you really. I don't think
you had those like twisty cartoon
eyes. And I was mad at you because I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm only gonna write and produce for other people for the rest of my life, and it's gonna be amazing." And you were like, "Okay, if that's what you want," but like you're pushing, and then that seed got in there.
The seed got in, and then it obviously was watered and bloomed the next couple of weeks because you always come around. Once I pop your denial,
you do. I always do come around.
It festers. My poison gets in there and poisons you from the inside out, and then you're ready to go like a month later.
Jeez,
but I mean, it doesn't matter what we do. We're all meant to do different things. Like that's the thing. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you want to do. I just want you to do what you want to do.
Right.
and not take the easy way. Like, I'd rather you be a failed musician than a successful singer-songwriter. I'm sorry. I'd rather you be a failed musician, solo artist, than a successful producer.
Bus driver.
But no, or successful anything else, because fail at what you love.
Yeah.
Instead of being good at something that is safe, that you don't fully love.
Well, that is like not placebo. I'm not trying to talk down about
it's not, but that's
being a writer producer, because like I have so many people that's like that's what they're called to do. That's what they thrive. But it has nothing to do with
like switch out the names. If you want to be a circus artist, that's your path. And it may be for you being, but I also think, honey, oftentimes people flip it and they think, well, I should want to be the star. But actually what they want to do is be the behind the scenes person. Yeah. And that means that is the path. Don't be a star. Don't be the artist yourself. Like, go follow that path. Yeah. It has nothing to do with what career it is. It just has to do with what you want.
Yeah, what you actually
and what God
want.
put in your heart.
What you actually want. Yeah.
And you are the most obvious. I mean, you're like stars in your eyes to be an artist, but then you're like, no, I'm going to be a bus driver. And it's just like, no, you're not. Yeah. Go do this thing.
And anyway. I'll convince myself that I love it. But also, yeah, I mean, I think deep down I had this sense of like, one day I'll pick up my artistry again.
Yeah, once I've like,
but then you were
grinded your teeth.
Yeah, you grinded them teeth. But you were like, hey, it's now or never. Like,
and you were like 20 at the time. I'm like, you're getting old.
So young, but like,
but what I was trying to say was, hey, why now is the time?
Now's the time. Like, what are you doing? If you wait forever, you're gonna be waiting forever.
Yeah, and you jumped. I mean, the next year of your life was starting to focus, like you told your team, you told your people, David included, like, I want to focus on my own music. Mm-hmm. And
which was another weird thing of like, even like back to when I was about to release my first EP, to all my friends being like, hey, I'm going to do this. And they were all kind of like, oh, all right, yeah, good for you, bro. Like, go try to do your thing. When you are in the music industry and you have kind of established yourself as a writer, producer for other people, and you say you want to start being an artist, people are kind of like, oh, okay, like,
well, yeah,
go get it out of your system, bro. You'll come back. And I remember being really like frustrated by that, because I was like, you don't get it, but I really mean this. Like, I'm going to go do it, and I'm going to try to do this.
You want it to be taken seriously.
I want it to be taken seriously. And so I started prioritizing a lot more days in my schedule, and then
to write for your own,
to write for music. Myself, rather than to write for other people. And then slowly but surely, my contract was up with the initial publishing deal
with David's company,
with Hodges, and we had a very, very mutual parting of ways at the end of that contract, because he was just like, hey, if I offer you another deal, like, obviously, like, I need you to be writing for other people, 5 days a week. And I was like, I totally respect that and understand that, but like, if I am going to give this artist thing a real shot, like, I've got to give it my all.
Which, like, you're glossing over that, but that was a pivotal moment for us, because that was, I mean, I was working, but that was half of our income was that publishing deal. And so then the thing that had been the biggest deal for your music career was this publishing deal. This,
got me into the industry.
Yeah. And remind me, you still had your room, or had he moved at this point? He had moved. So David had moved to Nashville. So you weren't working in his studio anymore. You were working from home. So the one connection you had to like stability was this publishing deal.
Yeah.
And you lose the publishing deal.
And being Hodges guy.
Yeah, Hodges guy. And
that opens so many doors.
Yeah. And I mean, naturally. And you kind of are going off on your own path. You and your manager part ways at the time, you had been more of, I'm a songwriter for other people. And so you're fully alone for the first time in your career at this point. Yeah. No money coming in.
Yeah.
No money. You're married to a high maintenance girly.
You
are
high maintenance.
That is my bio, baby.
That's your memoir.
Proud of it. So, no money coming in. No relationships. Loser.
Absolute peace.
But you like, I will never forget. And I think this is kind of part of what we're talking about with this podcast with you and I, is like, for passion, we will die.
Oh, yeah.
So like we had rent in LA, which is expensive. And I was doing, odd jobs at the time that like, they brought money in, but we lost half our money. And so, but I was like, let's do this, baby. Yeah. And so were you. I think we had a day. It was less fear and more just sadness of like, okay, this is the end of that era. And that's always going to be sad, especially for a nostalgic sucker like you.
Oh, yeah.
But But it was so good, and I think it was one of the first jump off a cliff moments for us.
Big time.
That hugely paid off. Yeah, and so at that point, was that 2017?
2017.
So then the next January, well, actually, talk about how you got the idea to release a song a month. Because at this point, you've been writing for yourself, but you have released no solo music since the Tossing Copper stuff.
2015, yeah.
So it's been years since you've released.
Yeah.
You don't know if anyone likes you anymore.
Yeah, I am an absolute loser.
You are a paper bag in the wind. What's that? That's that Katy Perry song.
You ripping firework right now, babe?
I love. Hey, firework. Jake Scott YouTube. Check it out. One of the reasons I fell in love.
Roar, babe. Come on.
Roar. Shoot.
Get my
Jake.
references
You
right.
said firework.
We were married.
I know it all blends. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I did a cover of Roar back in 2013.
Check it out.
Check it out. You want to see growth?
I'll never forget. I had food poisoning one day when we were engaged, and I watched that over and over, and then I was vomiting everywhere. Okay.
Gosh.
So you've released no music. You're a loser. What's next?
And then I was like, wow, sweet. I am at rock bottom. No,
we thrive off rock bottom.
yeah, we loved it. And it was a leap of faith. And we both agreed, like, okay, we're going to go for this. Like, you know.
Had you met Dylan yet?
Yes. Yeah, we were already working.
Yeah.
Together.
So, I mean, that's a big part of the story. He met a wonderful manager.
Had a manager at the time who believed.
Shout out Dylan Bourne. Yes, believed in you as an artist.
Believed in me so much, and I needed that so bad at that time, because I was like, dude, what am I even doing? And he was just like, bro, you've got these songs. These are really good. You should put them out. And I was like, yeah, all right.
You needed that so
I needed it so much. And I remember at the time the way I got the concept for because I was writing and producing for so many other independent artists who quite frankly had not a whole lot going on. Like myself.
Like all of us till something
Like all
goes.
of us, yeah. When you're first getting started, you have these dreams of being this huge artist who's operating on the traditional, rollout schedule of like, you spend 2 years making an album, you roll out 3 singles, and you drop the album, and you go on this big tour. But like that only works when you're already huge, when the world is waiting for your next album.
Or you get a record deal and you're built
and you've got a machine behind you.
That was the way it was.
But when you don't have that, the biggest mistake I saw so many artists do that I was working for, that I was making their songs, was they would just wait so long and put all their eggs in the basket of this one song when, it would come out, and inevitably, like, you get pretty much crickets at the beginning because like no one knows who you are yet. Yeah. And that's okay. And I think the hardest thing to swallow as an independent artist is like, I'm not famous, and the world is not waiting for this body of work, and probably no one's even going to know that I released this song. Right? But instead of putting all my hope,
please laugh at that. Okay, go ahead.
All of my hope can't be in this one thing, because this is all building up to something bigger.
And so I remember you being like, people, and maybe this was Sherry Short who had this conversation with you. Like, stop trying to make things perfect. Like, the song is good enough, release it.
Yeah, and exactly. And so like, my thing was like, I have the ability now, after writing and producing so many songs for so many different people, I can turn a song around fast.
Mm-hmm.
I can get it done within like a couple days. Like, which is so cool. But like, I don't have to wait 6 months to release this single. Like, if it feels good today, I'm putting it out next week.
So then you got to the place where you're like,
I was like, instead of releasing 12 songs at a time, and that's like your traditional album format, why would I not have an album worth of music and release them one song a month and build the album over the course of a year, and then people slowly get to snowball and get these new songs and discover them. And so I was like, I'm going to try that. So January 2018, I released my first single, Tuesdays, which is still a song for me that's been hugely, important
impactful.
For my, impactful for my career. But that was the first one that I started releasing. And like, I, started with really small growth on the first year of it, because I thought, I'm only going to commit to doing this for 1 year.
And I think you told me this after the fact, but I think you had expectations. Like, you put out your first EP with Tossing Copper, and boom, there was stuff. And you put Tuesdays out, and like, it did well, but it didn't do what you wanted it to do.
No, yeah, I thought, I was like, oh, this is going to go viral overnight. Yeah. Or I like had this hope that it would.
Well,
and
naturally.
I put it out, and it didn't. It didn't. Like, it did fine, like you said. but it didn't go viral.
It didn't do what you were dreaming of it doing, and then the next didn't, and the next didn't. But I think that was the best thing that ever happened to you.
It instantly made me be like, okay, I'm playing the long game.
Exactly.
This is not going to be overnight. This is not going to be viral.
And you can't attach so much to every move you make, to every song you release, because you will be inevitably disappointed.
And shout out to my father,
Brad
who
Scott?
loves a good sports analogy. He was like, son, you can't always go up to the plate looking for a home run. Base hits win the game, so you just need to put together a lot of base hits.
Man, nothing has been truer for you.
For me, that has been absolutely true because, there has been, if even still looking back, there is not one song that has been the thing that
No, but you've had some triples and some home. Like, you've had the moments
I
that
haven't had a home run, but I've had some doubles.
Well, I mean,
triples.
it's all perspective. You're a college student, you release an EP, and you get a publishing deal with one of the best singer-songwriters in the world.
Okay,
That's
a
home run, dog.
Fair.
Okay?
Fair. Thank you,
Lord. Let's think about that. Okay, so you start releasing. We roll into 2019.
Mm-hmm.
You continue releasing.
Yeah. So I started out thinking it was going to be 1 year. There was enough data to be like, all right, I should keep going.
Yeah.
So I went into a second year of it. And
there was a grace for it because I think, and we'll get into this in a second, but you were thinking about doing this again, and it's just like, this isn't the season for that, but it was the season for you to be doing that.
Oh yeah.
You had the amount of songs, and you were also just able to on the fly write, release, record, within 2 weeks. And
and I was just kind of on this good, cadence of like, I'm just constantly got this thing rolling, but also at the time, my music wasn't making enough money to sustain us. So I was still producing for other people. So I had it kind of dialed to where if I could spend 10 days of the month working on my own music, that was enough. And then I could spend the rest of the time working for other people, producing songs for people that was keeping our bills paid,
and we were just happy for that. I mean, it got to a point after the first 6 months, first year into the next year, when 2019 is when things started shifting in the upward. But before that, it was just like, this is life.
Yeah.
We support ourselves creatively. That's a huge, like, we weren't disappointed that, of course, I think there was always like, okay, I want to break.
Hoping, yeah.
But I don't remember us being like.
When things were slow, very slowly, but steadily climbing.
They were climbing, but I don't even remember being focused on that.
We really weren't.
No.
We really weren't.
I mean, you may have, it was your career, so you may have been more, but I know you tell me everything. And so I don't feel like it was consuming our life. I feel like it was built on slow and steady wins the race. And that's because the song that changed things was what? Favorite T-shirt?
Favorite T-shirt. Yeah. So,
and at the same time going in the Waco show, getting booking agents.
Yeah. So
it's okay.
Bullet
Jake
points.
really, really wants to tell you.
No,
and on January
I gotta get off
2nd, 2019. So
off.
you've been releasing a single a month, all of 2018, most of 2019.
Oh my goodness.
Things have been building. You released.
Favorite T-shirt comes out end of 2019. And
at that point, you were like, whatever. It was a great song, but you did not even have any expectation for anything.
This is how much I didn't, because, nowadays, anyone in the music industry is like, you have to put a song in the portal minimum of 4 weeks before you release a song. There's no chance you're going to get a playlist if you don't get it 4 weeks ahead. And I released Favorite T-shirt. I put it into the portal 6 days before it was released.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, who cares? Spotify doesn't care. I'm not getting playlisted anyway. So like, I'll just put it out. I like the song. It sounds good. And then
right before that, Like This, which came out later, but you had gotten some attention, like this company was going to work with you because of Like This.
Yeah.
And they were great, but it ended up falling through, which was probably one of the bigger disappointments at the moment. So then by the next month, when you're releasing Favorite T-shirt, it's like, okay,
who cares?
Yeah. We didn't even think about it.
Yeah. And I put it out, and then I remember that was the first time I got on any like major editorial.
Yeah, you got on New Music Friday,
which was like Friday on Spotify, which was like.
But this is how much you didn't care. You found out because like 4 hours after it came out, one of your friends was like,
"Hey, man, you got on New Music Friday."
Oh, and I mean, Jake was.
Oh, that was the closest thing to like the That Thing You Do moment when they hear the song on the radio for the first time and they're like running down the street.
Oh,
so they're like,
we literally ran down the street.
We ran down the street and
we went to a bar.
We went to a bar and I think we took a shot and had a great time. And it was so fun. And,
yes.
And it was like, it was a great moment of like, and that genuinely was when like I felt a very tangible shift in momentum of like very slow incremental growth.
Your next
to like, And
I mean, it was like that.
Yeah, and it was like the next 4 songs got on New Music Friday, and I started getting all this playlisting from Spotify.
All this record labels reaching out, like people, managers reaching out.
Yeah, and I played a show in Texas that, like, I was expecting there to be like 50 people, and it like there was like over 500 people there,
which is sold out.
And I was like, whoa, what? This is insane. And then I got a booking agent
with the best agency in the world.
Shout out to EA. And then
wonder how many times we said shout out.
Seriously. We gotta work on that. But
we like to give credit where credit is due.
So anyway, there was just this momentum happening. And then that's when I started getting really, 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 really toxically consumed with numbers, but that's a different podcast.
No, that's, I think, this podcast, because, I mean, we don't have to dive super deep, but I think that's a huge part of your story and why you are where you are now. Because, you continue in 2020, you sell out a tour, you're releasing music, and you got lost along the way.
Oh, I completely got consumed by it. Like, it was like tales
your
old
whole
as time.
Identity, Well, it was the ladder climbing thing in you, but this was like the golden ladder that you actually wanted to climb.
Yeah.
And
it was working.
And it was working. And it was all working in a very like synergistic, all at the same time. Like if you could have written it. I mean, right before COVID, you're getting offered a $4 million record deal. Like, that was crazy.
It didn't happen, by the way.
It didn't happen, but I mean, because COVID shut everything down. And then, I mean, I guess I don't remember if that was connected, but I know that you got offered that. Didn't happen. COVID happens. And then even during COVID, like, you're doing the Instagram live, like, things are moving for you, but you are, and I don't think I did know that you were getting consumed. I mean, you were still you, but it was like your whole,
it was
everything. You were wrapped up in it.
It was my complete and total identity. Spiritually, I was in a super dark place.
I mean, that was 125% the hardest year of our marriage.
By far.
Worst year, terrible, 2020, which many people, I mean, COVID was hard, but it had nothing to do with COVID for us.
No, it wasn't. It was like I had just, like you said, like it just completely consumed me, and I lost myself in it, like 100% lost myself in it. And lost sight of everything I believed in, lost sight of everything I cared about.
It became your God, really.
It became everything. Like, I cared about it way more than anything else. And
it felt like this is my chance.
At the time, it was giving it back to me.
Yeah.
Like, I was giving all of myself to it, and it was giving back. And I was like, this is it. This is all I want. I don't need anything. I don't need anyone or anything. I don't need God, that's for sure. I just am going to keep doing my thing. And and I'm the man. And
I mean, you still believed in God, but it was definitely in like questioning things. And it was just, I don't even know that you were putting that much thought into anything else. It was just like, this it's like,
it was all I cared about.
This is all I cared about. And so that led to a breakdown. Led to a breakdown in our marriage, led to a breakdown. I mean, I think that that's been the unraveling you've been in with work, because
for 5 years.
We came to a point, which is definitely a different podcast that we'll do, but in our marriage where it was just like, this is not the man I married. What is happening? I don't, care about any of this. I don't see you anymore. Where did you go?
Yeah.
And
I really did lose myself.
Yeah. And then coming out of that into kind of the season we're in now, it's like, I want to hear your comments on this, but like it has been a slow unraveling of, because this whole putting your worth in success did not begin with this music.
No.
This has been, and many, many people deal with this, but you certainly do. I know you do, and I do too. It has been a lifelong wound in you of, I have to be successful and accepted and belong to be worthy.
That's what you talked about, that through line of like, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And so I was constantly my whole life searching for proof that I am good enough.
Well, and even when you got it, Jake, there's many points in the story where you got the proof, but then the line moves.
Well, it wasn't enough, yeah.
It's never enough. It's never, ever, ever enough. And especially with what you do, because there's, you were having success, but there's always more success. And so I think that breakdown had to happen, and thank God it did. And I mean, why don't you talk about kind of where you are now with things? Because you continued having sold out tours and having this success, but it, from what you've told me, started feeling very empty as you woke up to where you were.
I think in a succinct way to say it, I think
and
where
I am
Lila. It's just lean to
gotta sit up.
I think where I'm at now, because that was 2020. We're 5 years later. I think my my obsession, my losing myself in it, that bubble initially started popping in 2020 of me just being like, if I keep going down this road, I'm going to destroy everything I care
Mhm.
about and
Mhm.
everything I am. And this is not who I want to be.
Yeah.
And thank God I saw that like relatively early. Um, because I feel like God kind of like saved me from destruction
Yeah.
and was like, hey,
Yes.
you are heading towards a path that you will not be able to come
Yeah.
back from. So like
You were like
stop
wisping it
right
and
now.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like what where have I been? Like what I felt like I woke up from a spell.
Yeah.
And it's been this like shifting back towards God and who I am and who I care about and what I believe in, but then also like from this musical standpoint, like it's been this a lot slower prying my fingers off of this thing that it's just like this is everything to me. And it's been like it's taken 5 years to get to where I'm at right now, which is like I am finally at a place where I'm just like I am so ready to just completely let this go. And I love it. I'm passionate about it. I feel called to do it, but I do not want it if it is on my own back, if it's on my own blood, sweat, and tears, if I am just looking to it to be my sense of worth or identity. And um, I think I'm finally at this turning point because, from 2020, I released more music. I released an album. I went on tours that did really well. And then, now I'm here at this.
Well, I think before you go on, an important like moment to touch on in this is that you kind of lost yourself musically too,
Oh,
because I
100%
think
I
you
did.
have a lot of. I think it all starts innocently. Like you like a lot of different genres of music, so you can do a lot of different things and want to do a lot of different things. But it became what will get me on the playlist, what will get me more, more streams. What is
Yeah.
working for other people? I'm just going to do that,
Copy it.
whether or not you like it. Who cares what I'm about?
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, we were joking earlier about like if I decided to be a bus driver, I
Yeah.
would do that. Like it's same thing happened to me with music of just like I don't even care what my artistic instinct
Yeah.
is. Like
Or even maybe it gets muted over time.
yeah, and I think I lost my way completely in the process of like even as an artist of like I'm not even asking the question of like what kind of art do I want to make? Who am I as an
What's
artist?
moving me right
I
now?
was totally
Yeah,
just consumed with what's gonna be popular, what's
right.
gonna make me
What's working
popular to
for
other
other
people,
people?
what's gonna help me be accepted by other people, because that's the point of my entire life.
Yeah.
And so, I look back on my music, and it's not that I hate my music or anything like that, but I look back on it now where I am, and I can feel the motive, the engine behind that music was what's gonna make me popular.
Right.
And as I sing, I just went on tour this summer and it was great. I had a great time. Had a great time and I learned a lot. But the thing that I felt the most is like I'm singing these songs every night that I'm just like, I can feel the striving. I can feel where I was in 2019 writing the song that I'm singing now. And I just feel like, man, I am such a different person now. And I care about so many different things now. And like my motor is completely different than it was then. And it made me really sad to see how far away from myself I had gotten and how
I
far
mean,
away
even more
from
recent than that, I feel like you're just like some of the music that not it's all great and all of it has a piece of you in it, but I feel like up until now, I haven't seen you. I think you were too scared to sit with yourself in
mm,
a room and be like, what am I meant to do? Is it music? Okay, we got to where I think it's music.
yeah.
But is it what do I like? God, what are you putting on my heart? And like you're just now unfolding in that.
Yeah, yeah, truly. And it's I feel like it's taken too long for me to finally get here.
That's just not true because this is everyone's battle in
Yeah,
life.
true,
This is
true,
the battle of
true.
life.
You're right. You're
Separating
right.
yourself from what you do, separating your worth from people's opinions, like that's just our battle.
Yeah. And I can
Everyone.
definitely make my problems the biggest thing in the world. So like
No, I just mean go easy on yourself. Like you're on a journey and a path and you had a very easy hit, a real easy drug. Put a song out. Ooh,
yeah,
it's doing well. That feels good. I'll
getting
make more of
feedback,
that.
yeah.
And you kind of slowly separate from whatever that original artistry was. But now you are at this place where it's like, I mean, because I've seen you, I feel like maybe a year ago at a place where like, okay, I'm going to go back to my roots, to what I really love.
Mm.
But even that can get tainted because it's like, well, yeah, when other people go back to their roots, it becomes this. So maybe but now it's like, I feel like, and there's going to be levels of this the rest of your life. And you're going to grow and transform. Like, this is just a moment, but it's an important moment for you.
Oh, it's a life-changing moment for me.
It's a life-changing moment.
I genuinely feel like I'm at like a huge turning point in my life, not only as an artist, as a person, as a man, everything. Like I feel like, I feel like it started in the shift started in 2020, and I'm finally there where I'm like, okay, God, like you said, is this even what I'm supposed to do anymore? Like,
I feel like we've turned that page. Yeah,
we turned that page. I do feel like this is what
that
I'm
was August,
and we're in August again. Biggest fan. We get so passionate about everything, and we're very extreme. So like that, 2 months ago, I was kind of like,
no, you took some weeks. I also think we both knew in the back. I think you had to, after that tour, that experience you just talked about, you had to lay everything down.
I did.
Because I think you went into that tour thinking, okay, I've done the work. Like, I can do this now. And then it was like, oh, this is like an empty drug. This doesn't work anymore.
Doesn't work anymore.
Not that, like, again, those shows were amazing. And,
they were amazing.
I know how much you love doing it, but there's just more for you. And once you've tasted the more, the old thing does not feel good anymore.
Yeah, it's like you're trying on old clothes that just don't fit right.
Like you're eating a lot of candy and it tasted good at first, and then you're like,
I get a little sick.
You got a little sour tummy.
Yeah, like Ruby said, she's like, I have that sugar feeling in my tummy. Or like, oh,
you
can't
had
just eat sugar all day.
Yeah. You think you can. You had that sugar tummy. And so
I had sugar tummy. And
then you've laid it down. And I mean, I will say, as your wife, having been able to see through every BS moment you've ever had.
Hallelujah.
And so it's supposed to be a joke, but it's true.
It's true.
You
brutally so.
I feel like I am seeing you. I used to feel like I would have to kind of tiptoe around like, hey, I have this opinion. I mean, I always gave you my opinions, but like, I'm trying to think of how to say this without fully outing you.
Out me, babe.
Well, okay. Like,
that's the whole point of this. Rip me to shreds.
I know, but it's too specific, but I'm just going to do it.
Break me to pieces. I just referenced my own song. That's terrible.
Demons.
I'm sorry that I did that.
Oh, is that what we're singing?
That was my song, yeah.
Can you please delete that from this podcast?
Let's cut that out.
Cut it now. Keep it. Everyone needs to know. Okay. Recently, he's making all this music and I love so much of it, but I was hearing him play an old song and I was like, I do feel like you have this other genre in you too. Like, I feel like your music's going to be kind of genreless because you're going to have different moments. And so what about this other genre? And if I had said that to you a year or two ago, your alarm bells would have gone off, like panicked. Okay, I only need to make that kind of music because you can also be so codependent with me. Like, but I represent the world at large too. So if Rachel thinks I need to make that, that's what I need to make. And I was afraid to even say it to you a couple weeks ago. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I've thought that, but like, we'll see. I'm good. I'm going to see what comes up in the day. And I literally, Jake, was like, whoa. Because could you feel, I mean, that is just such a massive shift where I can give an opinion that may or may not even be correct. And you can sit solid where you are and trust the process you're in and trust what God is doing creatively with you. I mean, that is like a different planet.
Yeah, I feel it.
It's presence as well, because you used to ping around like one of those things at the arcades, you know? And
I mean,
what's that game called?
Pinball?
Pinball. You would pinball. I'd say one thing and you're like, okay. Here, I've released a whole album of that genre. And I'm like, whoa,
it's true
dog.
Because when your whole life is on the line, when your whole sense of worth is on like, wait, I'm doing it wrong. I need to shift gears right now and move 1,000,000 miles an hour towards the thing that someone else is saying is going to work for me. And I think I finally, this tour truly finally broke something in me where I was like,
finished breaking.
Yes, true. I will not get ahead of God ever again.
Yeah. Or your own
by the
process.
Grace of God. Yes. But I'm just like, for me, what I will do is I will get a nugget of an idea and then I will sprint that direction until I hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, why have I hit a brick wall again? And I sit down and look at him. It's because you didn't slow down for 5 seconds to just ask yourself, like, is this right? Is this what I want to do? Hey, God, is this where I should go? I'm just like, sweet, I'll see you in Vegas. I'm gone. I'm there. I'm already there. I'm on a plane. And you're like, wait, we're not going there.
Well, I know.
And so I'm finally at a point where I'm just like, I will stay one step behind you in this whole process, whatever that means, wherever we're going. I'm not leading the way anymore. And
or making other people God's voice in your life, because that's what you were also doing. Like 100%. If I have an opinion, if the world at large is loving this certain type of music, that became your compass, and it failed you over and over.
Yeah.
And okay, so we're here now, which is so exciting. And I mean, I think the music you're writing right now is, obviously I'm biased, but I'm also honest with you.
Oh, Britt, you're freaking brutal.
It is.
You are cutthroat.
I'm so excited.
Let the record show. This girl, I'll walk in and play something. She's like,
honey,
this
you
is
just
trash.
sang your own song, all right? Someone's got to be over here freaking with a poker.
Yeah.
Okay, but how does your passion now for it compare to your passion as that, 6-year-old idolizing Shades, dreaming?
If I'm being totally honest.
Well, that's what we want.
Part of me is still really scared to go there.
Go where?
Because I've been so disappointed. Part of me is really scared to let myself dream like that 6-year-old kid again. Because I think for a long time, I was like, it's going to work. It's going to work. I'll just give it time. It's going to work. I'm going to get there. And then when I started finally getting a microcosm of a taste of it, I'm aware that like I am no Taylor Swift. I have not had like global success, but like I started getting what I wanted. In my version of it, I started getting it. And like Tale as Old as Time, it was cripplingly unsatisfying. And like you said, the goal kept moving. Like I finally got that one playlist that I wanted, and I was like, well, that's not enough. I want this one. And then
or the happened. Next song, oh wait, it didn't get that playlist.
Didn't get it. Yeah, didn't get the same.
What went wrong? Why did my numbers dip?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Like, should I change everything about my sound? All this stuff. And so I think when I started experiencing some disappointments, like around when my Lavender album came out, and it didn't change my life. And when I put up a tour after the first one that didn't sell out in a week, like I started going like, oh no, what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? I need to change everything about myself. I need to abandon every instinct I have. And then I started feeling this fear of like, well, if I get my hopes up, I'm going to be crushed. And so now I'm at this place where I'm finally feeling the most surrendered to it that I ever have. I'm just kind of like, I don't want this to be the weight of my world. I don't want this to control me anymore. But there is still this part of me that's just kind of like, I still just think it's going to work. Like I can't explain it, but I think one day I'm going to get there. But then it's quickly followed up with like, for real? Like you think you're going to get there? You sure you want to get your hopes in that? And also there's this like, innocent fear in me that's just kind of like, hey bro, don't make this thing your world again. Like
that's true.
That is true, but there's also, it can get confused with
being passionate.
Like what is wisdom, and also what is then like insecurity?
Okay. I think you're asking the wrong question, because if Ruby what's something, a gardener, like if she was like, Dad, all I want to do is be a gardener, would you be like, well, if you're gonna fail, I
shouldn't even try?
No, it doesn't. Failure and success is such the wrong like, I understand we have to make a living, but that has to be a separate conversation from you pursuing music. Success and failure is the worst barometer to do anything by, because you will never do anything.
Yeah,
you will never. Because one, you're going to have successes and failures. Like you will absolutely fail again. You will absolutely be crushed again.
For sure.
You'll be disappointed again. And you will also have successes again. Both of them killed you. So throw that barometer out and have the new barometer of, this is in my heart. And this is a day-to-day thing for every human, but I'm going to pursue this because it's in me, and I'm going to honor what God put in my heart and what I love to do. In the same way that watching our kids just live is like the greatest joy, because they're doing what they're meant to do, what they're created to do, to just be kids right now, to play. Like that is you. And you're going to have to detox from the point of view of, this is all about success or failure. No, it's all about you just going for it. Yep. And just expecting both, and not slowly over time, the satisfaction of doing what you love is going to beat out any success or failure. I mean, success is more toxic than failure. And
for me, historically, yes.
Yeah, but you just not letting yourself ask that question, and like tending to that part of you that has been so hurt, that needs like care right now. But at the same time, in the same way that if Ruby came home and was like, hey, some failure in her life, like you would comfort her through it, but you would not let that define her.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a good way to shift the perspective, like how I would view it for her. It's not the weight of your world, and it's not what defines you. And
Well,
it's
also,
it's like, it doesn't.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and also too, like if your worth isn't secured on the front end, then like this is going to kill you.
Oh, 100,
And
like
it is going to upend your life.
100%.
So you have to find it outside of this thing
Yes.
so that this thing has a chance to be pure. I'm not saying it's gonna be, because like anything I do, I'm always like, even in my purest moment, like there's a part of me that's like, but maybe it goes viral. Like maybe it'll finally, maybe this is the song that will change the world for me.
But I think so, but I also think, remember back to what we just talked about, 2019, when Favorite T-shirt was the song that changed things for you. You didn't put it out. That voice had gone at that point, and you were just you had one mission. I'm just going to release music and live my life. And I think clearly you still had a lot to work through at that point. But I think getting back to that, like, yes, that question might be in your mind, but I truly think as you're in this place of transforming, like, it will be less and less. And if it does go viral, it has got to be a blip for you.
Oh, for
Cool.
sure.
I'm not going to look at any of it. I'm not going to do this drug. Like, I am going to keep making music and doing what I love, period.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, and this is the battle. This is the battle of a life for every human. But it's certainly been your battle. And I think, though, it's very important for you as we like wrap this up, because I asked you, is the passion there? And you said, I'm afraid. But it sounds like the passion is there, and you're just still seeing fear to let yourself fully dive into it.
I think what
Is that correct?
I think what it is, and I'm feeling this as you're talking, is like it is a unique thing when your passion becomes your job, when it becomes your career, and it is a really tricky thing to balance in a healthy way. And I thank God for it, because it has brought me to my knees in a good way, of just being like, God, I love this. I love it. I love it. Nothing makes me feel more alive than when I'm doing that. But it has consumed me. And I don't want this thing that you gave me to be such a gift to kill me. And so I want to hold it in a way that's like, I want to enjoy this and honor you with this and glorify you with this. But at the same time, like, I don't want it. I'm scared to let myself love it too much, and shifting the perspective of like the same thing with like our kids, it's like if I give them, like Shepard's obsessed with his Paw Patrol bike helmet right now. And it's like, all he wants is that thing, and he wants to talk about it. And, like it would break my heart if he came to me and he like was like, hey, I'm not going to touch that thing because I don't want to love it more than I want to love you for giving it to me. Because I'd be like, no, I want you to enjoy that, but like, don't let it be the only thing in your life that you care about. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes complete sense. And I think I think you have to remind yourself that the way you're approaching it now is so differently than the way you ever approached it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe in the very beginning there was innocence in it, but like you hadn't done the work yet. Now you've done this work, and now it's like, God, I'm doing this with you. And that there is a difference in getting in a really amazing way, like consumed by the enjoyment of writing a song and what the pleasure. And God is good. He made us to get to enjoy the things that we do, the things that we're meant to do. It's like a puzzle piece. It feels amazing. And saying, now this is all that matters. This is my worth. That becomes dark. It doesn't feel as good as like, I love this, and now let me go celebrate with my family. Let me go thank you, God, for giving me this moment, and now on to the next. Like, you're already doing it differently, and you know how to, and fear is just trying to keep you trapped in the past. But it's also, you're learning a new way.
And like what you were just saying of like, it's almost like when you allow yourself to get caught up in the enjoyment of it, the pleasure of it with God.
Yeah, with him.
Then it becomes this like beautiful dance rather than this like dark secret where you're like, hey, God, stay out of the room.
100%.
I'm gonna now, this is all I care about.
Well, and that's the lie, because the truth is God gave you this and wants to enjoy it with you. I think the other thing I have found lately that has helped me so much is like the way to grow and heal is not to focus on the things we need to fix. It's to focus on God. It's to focus on, okay, God, I'm just going to let me love you.
Yeah.
And actually loving him is making music. Like that is a way that you love him. It is an expression of love, but also just like as your passion for God increases, there's just nothing else can compete.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
And I mean, sometimes you writing a song, in fact, I think every time when you're in that headspace, writing a song is worship, is you just being one with God. But yeah, the world, just life itself, whatever you want to say is going to want us to segment all these things off, and then it gets choked, and then it becomes our identity. And yeah,
I think what you like, that made me think of like, if you are constantly feeding in, like watering that grass, for lack of a better analogy, of like, if you're constantly like, oh no, I can't let these other weeds get too big. And it's like, well, if you just really focus on watering the soil that's actually like what you like, God, like your love for God, your passion for God, then all these other things will fall into place. If that is like your core passion and desire and your core identity, if like, I just want to enjoy you, God, and I want to enjoy what you've given me a gift in doing, and enjoy the fact that, yeah, this is how I provide for my family, is doing this thing that you've given me to do. And it's a tricky balance, and I don't have to get it perfect, and I don't have to stare at the problem. I need to stare at God, and God will help me hold the problem, in a healthy way.
I just heard this thing, and it is so life-changing. It's exactly what we're talking about. One of my friends talked about the mustard seed verse, about how if you have faith as a mustard seed, you'll be able to move this mountain, which I know that's a little, off there, but that's the heart of the verse. If you have faith as a mustard seed, you can move mountains, right? Okay. So we all have always taken that to mean you just have to have a little bit of faith and you can move a mountain, right?
Yeah.
So then you're like, well, shoot, I think I have a little faith, but I can't even move that cup of empty coffee over there. So this woman was like, actually, you have to know that this was an agricultural community back then, and that a mustard seed, when you plant a mustard seed, it's small, obviously, and you plant it, but it actually grows so quickly, it takes over the entire garden and snuffs everything else out. She's like, that's what faith is. Just plant that tiny faith. And when you look at that little tiny seed, you don't have to go pull the weeds. That faith, that seed snuffs everything else out.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like the mint we planted in our rental that we were in for 1 year, and it took over the whole garden in LA. That's how mustard seeds are. I mean, and think about that. That is so life-changing, and it's what we're talking about. So focus on this mustard seed you have right now of, I am passionate for you, God. You are it. But God, when you love God, like everything you do is about that. It's not like I love God and then my family and then music and then da-da. No, God is it, and everything is through that. Yeah. And so he's a part of all of it. Yep. And then you start having this feeling of like, this feels good. This feels like what I should be doing. Okay, now I'm doing this with you. Maybe this isn't the best thing for me. I'm going to turn away from that. But it's that mustard seed. And as you focus on that, that becomes so much more enticing than living these other ways that you start seeing the darkness in. The selfish ways, my worth is tied up in this ways, all of that. Okay. Wow, we did it.
Drop the mic, babe. That was beautiful.
Well, the mustard seed thing was our bestie Derek, and that he found a woman off Instagram, and I forget her name, maybe Healing Mothers or something.
Take credit, babe. Come on.
No, I can't take credit. Okay. Anyway.
I love it.
Love you. I'm proud of you. I admire you, and I'm inspired by you, and I am so excited to see where your life goes next, and I will jump off a cliff with you any day of the week.
Let's jump off cliffs.
Deal, dog.
Biggest fan!
Biggest fan. That's Jake Scott's life.